The attacks on the Ashantis was unnecessary by our friend Osafo Marfo, because he doesn't know his history. He doesn't know his history. Like I said, he was an engineer. Inti ebiano wa man ni history ni anana je pa calculation of mass and na physics no chemistry. E what na attention when he was in school. Inti history no wan shede nsua. And also history say hey, this is a common history that everybody 1 to 5 does this. We e be of history na. But Osafo Marfo nim. Osua idea na ni daho and odi yes ade no. Because he is fond of making tribal remarks and tribal sentiment, or try say because why it be that 2015 Osafo Marfo made similar remarks. Say a northerner should not be voted into office or into politics or become president because resources of the state, our eastern region, our Ashanti region, our western region, our central region, and our Brafo region. And what are resources of the state? Into president, Obibabe president, the person must come from any of these regions, not a northerner. Meanwhile, when he made that statement, it was Mahama who was a president. People took it as a ethnic, your friend, remarks and comment, which was not good for the country. Launch into it editorial ya pc umwa atransia ne yemu say nsem bandidi who sana ukebia na akwayewi and also banso you must know exactly what you want to say na ne pese ye kan titia ne say ya Osafo Marfo asem no kan no em say na no chiai wan kan ye oyo panyin over 80 years wan kan ye na ubekasa nso you must know what to say and the right time to say it and where to say it. Now this is not the first time ye bebe no so. Now, the person can teach and say the independent struggle of Ghana did not start with the Achims as he want to claim. And Achim for the started Sadeno. And we must make it clear to him. Say it didn't start with the Achims. It started from somewhere. There no any about Trinity and opinion and Osafo Marfo so artist say without the Ashantis there wouldn't be any MPP or no wabidin minister or sang enjoy our system over 80 years or that's womb. Now, you say Honorable Osafo Marfo say without Ashantis, there wouldn't be any MPP for him to enjoy what he's enjoying. The Achims alone cannot make MPP. It's the collective from all the other tribes and other Nipa Ufi, other parts of the country. And I'm MPP. And Tiano ne ababe Trinity na nope na yedna kwa abakosi na wati ase. Straight away, let's launch into it na yonko history. Because me who historian because me chira de kakra ntia na history mani je ho na Osafo Marfo asem no kan honorable ya Osafo Marfo asem no kan like I said from the beginning he's over 80 years nti so kasa nanka se wa dwene kakra answer no aka you cannot just launch into a year babe attack Ashantifo say when Achimfo na struggle for in the independence of this country nana Ashantifo no wefa the Ashantis were also fighting to protect the central part of Ghana Gokus at the time. Yes, Antua Osha Soko. Ajiman Prepe or Neko Esa. The other time I said it in the history of the Ashantis. Now me can't say when these things Ednia Ubia no be fighting for anything, and now collectively Bibiba and you Ubia no be launching into it at once. Ubia will role be play and you protect it Omano. But I feel young assembly initiative and anything so. Honorable ya Osafo Marfo nima by history. Now your friend kingdom bia ana empire bi no friend akwamufie na wo hene bi wo ha wo friend na asumani no ya akwamuhene na history train say 1693 when we say Osu Castle, the Christianborg Castle was built by the Danes. One will be see Osu a Christianborg Castle. It was built by Abrofo. Now Danes for around that time they were the occupants of the place. Na one and what mpuano ho and what castle nim 1693 na akwamu hine hwebabi akwamu wo akwamu hwebabi akwamu hye eni puano but papa we because he didn't like the whites so obabe dominate yentino o hye da fi ehod nanti fi nwuram e de akokufu utuo keke utuo tu abrofo ya no de bai no bai no ne won be ku wo Osu castle ho odada o tricky won no je castle fi wonsem that was 1693. And he became the first black governor because he became the occupant of the place. Osafo Marfo ti history kakra. Misi papa no ohene no akwamu hene. Nenena ena ne feature da Kwafu Akuto the second. Ono na da ne picture da your friend saying screens to CCA. Kwafu Akuto the second or the descendant of Nana Asumani na oyo hene wo akwamu fie at the time no nene no da ha no ona odi ohene wo asisi wo friend kwafu akoto edi second ona oyo hene wo ohene fie ho ema ofi wo abai ena oni abrofu be fie so. Look at the sophisticated ammunitions na abrofu wo at the time or the ti abrofu ya keke be da won etu won fie ho ma otra ho for 1 year 1694 ena oni aton castle no ma on back. It was sold for 50 marks of gold. And we give you it was a lot of money at the time. And son utumi fi castle ho, and was the castle no back. Now even then, if you castle one crow jama on crown, the keys to the castle, na that's one kutukun. One farmer. That was the rule ni be play. We di me be twa mu keke na mesa bad no so ankasa. Me sure say people started resisting the whites many years back before the formation of UGCC. Achimfo no obeye sade no. I'm not saying that what they did was wrong and what they did didn't play any significant role. But all that I'm saying is that before Achimfo Babe started political party, formation of political party, JB Dankwa Ukrumwan. Nani pebi started fighting the whites, the Dow, our Castle. Christian Bokas Rusu, Asemna Miken. 1693, and an announcement, Akwamuhine, Ofi Akwamufie, Ofi war capital was Akwamufie. No, Nanti Yabai, was Abrofuni and Pew Ukrumia. Or started so be fight to or you kuapini akwamfu ye kuapinfo afemuntie abakwase bio na no Osafo Marfo afeti history. Then came the popular Aborigines Right Protection Society. Aborigines Right Protection Society was a pressure group. It was not a political party. It was a pressure group which was formed in the Gold Coast. What had happened? And then you see Aborigines Right Protection Society was formed in 1897. Now there was a law which had been published by the British Crown. 1897 and 1896-97 were year law be ewokrumia. Then the land they belonged to blacks no abrofon annexed to the crown. And this open here as a crown now the ibribi crown. I guess we hear permission from the crown, which is the British Crown. Until they vested all the powers of the land into the British Crown. Until Yakoba and say before now we new authority be a traditional rulers in they didn't have any authority over their own lands. Until out of this an Aborigines Right Protection Society was forming. Until 1896 and where I said they will come together because a law had been formed. By 1897, when another law was launched, a land bill was launched in 1897, and we decided to say no, baby, no man can afedi a yaya metal. Until we decided to say they would take their destiny into their own hands. The Aborigines Right Protection Society formed the foundation of the struggle for independence in this country. It was made up of the traditional rulers or the traditional chief and educated elites. One our formal sa association ya make a asemi. They form it. Now, nipa na form no. Munti on educated elite munti. J.W. de Graaf Johnson. Jacob Wilson C. Onusuno a member. J.P. Brown Onusuno account. J.E. Kesley Hayford Onusuno account. Then the popular John Mensah Saba. When you know history, John Mensah Saba's name is all over. These are the people educated elite in America. They formed the Aborigines Right Protection Society because I am for the co-founders and we be co-founders. All these people that I've mentioned, they became co-founders because one and one could school. Into over to me the one pen and out of paper so now want to my baby. This is the foundation of the struggle for independence in this country. Because the blacks realized at a point say they were being cheated. It was no fighting. And this was done along the coast. This was done along the coast. It was not done in the middle belt of the country, Gold Coast at the time. The Achims were living in the middle belt of the country. But these people formed this protection society. It was along the coast. Osafo Marfo must learn history. And this is the foundation or this formed the foundation or laid the foundation for the struggle for independence in this country. That is what I want Honorable Osafo Marfo to know. Yes, Marfo attacking no. Or may apologize. Or the apology about. But apology never can once. In the next episode, which is next week, Monday, Yababa Studio ha, near the Honorable Osafo Marfo say, without the Ashantis, there is no MPP. We will prove to him by figures and by voting and by whatever. You will prove it to him, say, or no, without those people, the Ashantis in particular, MPP cannot survive in this country. We will prove by next week. You better had no ha. Into history tells us, say, independence no kasi. When the Achims were fighting for independence in this country, na Santifun count, only as America, because opinion in Kasasa Sebe. In 2015, Osafo Marfo is on record by historical record. He is on record, say, 2015, he made similar remark, which was ethnocentric. It was too bad. I recall, 2015, Honorable Osafo Marfo ya, okujina simpieso, and okokensi. The resources of this country is well endowed in some 5 regions in this country. Eastern region, Ashanti region, Western region, I think coastal belt, central region, and one other region. What's a whole and say Burana for Hifa? What's a whole and the concentration of natural resources, estate resources. No. So he did not understand why somebody from the north should be voted as a president in this country. So I'm not your mama and I'm not a president. Osafo Marfo bekansi tape no enya no kware na it has been doctored enya asem okan and then so betuma be gina no akase asem no kan doctored ana e kire say sansem no ehini team asem so okan it doesn't represent the thoughts and the thinking of all Achims, but nipa bi so egina no esigwam si se sa no kan dia any president nim hu bi se sa no kan dia any Achimfo nim hu bi se sa no kan dia any people of Eastern region also nim hu bi, but asantifo na way sa so ma mentwe wan adwum las ayiso. Greater part of our Eastern region are Ashantis. The Dwabin people in Koforidua, they are all Ashantis. Ashanti Achim people now war Eastern region, they are all Ashantis. Inti enye ubi adwene eni na adwene Osafo Marfo aka na asema na adwene no waka. It doesn't represent everybody in this country or every Eyipia country here. It does not represent. There are Achims who are against what Osafo Marfo has said. So let's address the issue as it is. But the Americans opinion kasasa. Americans say history does not tell Osafo Marfo say Achimfo and started independence struggle with Krumga. But say Nana Sumeni Aofia Kwemufi, he started it. If you want ena eba Aborigines Right Protection Society. Afi mamentwi na adwene mra adibiso. The 1948 route, which gave the politicians that impetus what they fighting for independence and my be so immediate and Kwame Nkrumah no niade or any JB Dan Kwano by Obekasi were a big season. It was ignited by a chief in Osu na meba ho ofre ni kwabramboni. I will come there. He must learn history. No one say independence struggle, a lot of people contributed their part into it. Enya Achimfo nkwa ubia play ni rule. Nti so kasa Achimfo na start here enya no kware. Afeyemra, the formation of UGCC, which is the United Gold Coast Convention. Yes, you get them. There was no political party in this country until 1947 August 4th. UGCC was formed. It was formed by JB Dankwa Yejetum. JB Dankwa was a politician, a Gold Coast politician. He was a lawyer. He was a scholar. He was an activist. He was all in all. That was JB Dankwa. JB Dankwa and a formal United Gold Coast Convention, which is UGCC, on a formal. It was JB Dankwa on a formal. But let me tell you, JB Dankwa no, or a scholar, or a politician. Sankrofu no one shared any skasa. So there was one man who also dedicated himself to the cause. Na yeke history ani eja ona to baby. You friend a park grant. The picture ene da dunsun. Onu ene JB Dankwa ene da hon. Park grant picture ene da hon. Yeka story na yeja park grant na yed not to baby. Ya brukuto na to baby. Park grant was the financier of the group. Ono didn't sika finance JB Dankwa when they formed the political party. Ono didn't sika e form. It was the same Pa Grant here. And Akweji Namso, and Omaska, and Okofa, Kwame Nkrumah will be joining one later. Initially, Kwame Nkrumah was not part of those who formed the UGCC. History must be told and must be told well. But I'm saying that Osafo for some kind of day, Ashantis Babi Urema, or person attack one. It is wrong. It is 100% wrong, and it must be condemned with no uncertainty. People must condemn him without insult. But what they can do is to also educate himself. Onim history, uncle history. Yes, no, or engineer. Until be one history. Until engineers say one day calculations, mathematics, no many, and until what the infant say be when history. But those who know history must tell themselves, in fact, no, I am wrong. When this was formed, Pa Grant in Odi Nisika, a year, and a question Pa Grant fee, a war, friend, Azim. I have been there recently. I met the grandchildren, Michelle Pa Grant grandchildren. I met them and I spoke to them. I'm going to do a short documentary and I'll put it back on YouTube. Now, I'm going to Pa Grant. Nana, they reside in his house. Pa Grant fee on. I want what way a Pa Grant, any granddaughter back. Now, boys' quarters are not Pa Grant AC. Never Azima, none the workers see a Juma woman. No, or a merchant, or a timber merchant. No, son, export to cuckoo, no, man. That was what Pa Grant were doing. Ne grandchildren of Bakuni, and I'm in quarters in an workers, and one of my amenities. I went and met the woman. I think she's over 70 years. I'm Kotono, and you're born common. I interviewed them when a video. I met a Yanko Nipe Formo, who later became the Big Six. JB Dankwa, One Kofarabai, or in Nana Kufuado, ni uncle, and any grandfather. Ni uncle Baku, any grandfather ni JB Dankwa. Yes, the grandfather ni JB Dankwa, Nanado grandfather. Inti eho ena Osafo for pese odi ni history nifi. But we need to tell him that history is wrong. The history doesn't start from there. Na me bechire ni inti Osafo for edi eho ofi obado. JB Dankwa odo no formo ade no. O friend Joseph Buachi Dankwa chiritwie Dankwa, but popularly known as JB Dankwa. Em so san de kwa me kurakan. Ono ne founding member. Into ono no de no nkobo Pa Grant na Pa Grant so din sika wuram and o form UGCC. Then later o form ade no de ni nuanom and ne brothers and cousins be kan. O de Nana Kufuado papa ono se a founding member of UGCC. Eduardo Kufuado senior. Nana Kufuado din ankasa de Eduardo Kufuado junior. Wasisa no why Nana Kufuado no. But Eduardo Kufuado ne eye Nana Kufuado papa or a founding member of UGCC. That is the first political party that was formed in the country. First political party. Aborigines Right Protection Society. It was a group, a pressure group, but it wasn't a political party. They pressured them to form a political party. But one woman, now Mr. Politics, no one said Antiasi Papa, were educated elite. John Mensa Sabanum, which is Uncle Fulina, no educated Keslie Fordunum, no educated elite, be a one politics, no one person politics. No, they wanted to put pressure on the British Crown. Send a bear assassin or pursue give you and muscle. That was it. Near to Subiu, Eduardo Kufuado Papa, he was a founding member and later he became Chief Justice of the country under Kwame Nkrumah. He became Chief Justice and Kwame Nkrumah sacked him at some point. Then later in 1969 and to 1970, when Buzia became the Prime Minister, Kufuado Papa no be a president. Those who don't know history must listen to it. Kufuado not teach ne Papa be president pen, but in one more regime was truncated by a champion. A champion will be too long. 1970, 72. The champion be too long. Until 1969 to 72, Nana Nadu Kufuado Papa, who was a founding member of UGCC, which is the first political party in this country, also not a lawyer. He became a chief justice and then later became the president, ceremonial president of the country. Buzia was the prime minister, and we too on 1972 by a champion. Another founding member, William Ofuriata. Na Kufuado, na any uncle. This is where I'm seeing the connection. So Osafo for person say achemfo na kofa independent struggle ba kurumua na na santefo no kan no ada. That is not true. You might be told history. History doesn't tell us that. Into Osafo Marfo might be well educated. Said you can because of the connection of Nanado Papa, who was a brother or a cousin to JB Dankwa. JB Dankwa oye Nanado ne grandfather. Na William Ofuria Tanso oye friend Nanado ne uncle. These three connections, these were the three people who really formed or started the UGCC, which is the United Google Convention. And Nutina Osafo Marfo then Huakobo say I achemfo na ko start sadden. Na santefo no ada wrong wa ordinary war fam nso ye twina no esi fam say enya no kware. History doesn't tell us that. After you other founding members obi beka se Kwame Nkrumah di mai for a reason mechire. After Ebenezer Akweji or see another founding member or Nkreni or a founding member or no a lawyer, right? And a Jake obi cheblemte when you baby ko ne papa no friend Emmanuel obi cheblemte also not a founding member of UGCC. These were the first 5 people who form a political party with Krumah. JB Dankwa, William Ofuriata, Edward Kufuado, Ebenezer Akweji, and Emmanuel Obichebilamte. These were the first people who form a political party with Krumah. They formed the first political party in the Gold Coast. Now comes in Kwame Nkrumah. These people were learned, they were elite, they were educated, but they were old at the time. When Monko Krasai, but one fear kwenim, so they needed somebody who was very vibrant. But they needed somebody who was very vibrant to come and serve as a general secretary of the party. And Akwejesu Unimubi Oyuki, your man be no nimuno. Na wafredo Kwame Nkrumah into one kofa no family. These people didn't know much about Nkrumah, so it was Akweji who recommended Kwame Nkrumah to be part of UGCC. That is why I didn't mention his name first, because he was not a founding member. So they brought him, and it was the same park grant who provided money. No, the mark we gave say, Munkwana Munkofa branch Nemra, no Medwene, and Kwame Nkrumah became the first general secretary of UGCC, and later became the first prime minister of Ghana. That is the history. Into Osafo Marfo, Asemro can one can ye waiting. And you're correct. And it might be told, say, Asemro can, it is not correct, because in history, you're wrong. People had started struggling for our independence in the Gold Coast long before UGCC was formed. Let us hear being, me count him being one. Now, me can't see the big room because we are short. Yeah, in short, near Osafo Marfo say he's 100% wrong. After Muntium. Wofre Ohinibi ni Kwabena Boni Osu Alata Manche. He was a chief in Osu Alata. In those days, not the Syrians and the Lebanese one and control your market waha. They said most of the shops were owned by them. The Syrians and the Lebanese. And the Sankrofon one and they control market. Lebanese phone is Sankrofon be krumu enye ne wache ankasa. Ache pa amanfo yesa osisi no wo ba krumu ache nye ne those times no wo krumu it one and they control most of the market in the system. Milk ayenom one kraba ntama yifura one kraba esikra yidi one kraba samana yede kokoro samana hu ade ye ho one kraba enoma bebiri one kraba. So all those shops were owned by them, and the blacks who said they were cheating them. Now this chief was also a businessman and also educated kakra. And what he realized was that these people were cheating us. No say no ompre. In 1948 route, and at the boycott of European goods were Ghana, and I don't know, it was agitated by this chief of Osu, our friend Nico Abnaboni, the picture and that's one. Or no, and no agitated. Then the politicians, which were the UGCC members, including Kwame Nkrumah, Akweji, Obichebilamte, our friend William Ofuriata, JB Dankwa, and Sankrofon, and Edward Kufuado, Sankrofon, when they saw that Adena igniting Amanfo as street saw demonstration, and what do we do as politicians, that gave them the advantage. That gave them the advantage, and the more advantage immediately, and Amanfo to do it. So when the right became so eminent and so he said, and then the British government at the time, colonial governor, he decided to say, and they started 1 year reforms, no 30-year reform. They do a Osafo want to aba. no kotuaba what to aba no Kwame Nkrumah and winning. That's why Kwame Nkrumah became the first prime minister in Ghana. Dependent starting, yes, it's true. Those who started the agitation at the time, and we show what your constitutional reforms, Yenye Way, Kosi Committee, Wasing Committee, because of the route, committees were formed. Wasing Committee, Kosi Committee, all of them were formed because of some of this route. And we're forming to go into this allegation or what precipitated the route. No, I do one report come out British. And when we say baby, I know Makeka Kodede, I feel the head baby, and this would be independent. When Kwame Nkrumah was say independence now, not JB that Kwame say gradual. Yes, one the methodological approach and an word whopping, which was not wrong. Yempe Gidibia, Yan Kakranka. Kwame Nkrumah is something. No, mobilize youth, no, was woody nechi, na ye. So it was not Kwame Nkrumah. If people think that it was Kwame Nkrumah who just got up and gained independence for Ghana, and Yanu Kware. Don't let us tweet history. A billion person watch your history, but and yes, a history train. People had started long before when Kwame Nkrumah was a small boy. Probably he was not even born at the time. No, what started is man. Aborigines Right Protection Society. Look at when it was formed. Look at when it was in the 1870s, 90s, war 1811, and what form was Aden. Where was Kwame Nkrumah? When Asumani entered the castle, or Kwaya Sadi Yo, or J. Cassinifi Abrofunisem, where was Kwame Nkrumah? Where was Ekufuado? Where was JB Dankwa? Where was Akweji? Where was Ubiche Bilamte? Where was Sankro Fulina? Where were they? They were nowhere. People had sacrificed their lives long before Ansana political party was formed in this country. That history might be told and might be told well. To Osafo Marfo, waiting. I will continue to repeat his name. Waiting in this call, waiting. He's wrong, and he might be told that he's wrong. The attack on the Ashantis was unnecessary. The attacks on the Ashantis was unnecessary by our friend Osafo Marfo, because he doesn't know his history. He doesn't know his history. Like I said, he was an engineer. In Tiabiano, Waman and history, calculation of mass and physics and chemistry. And what another attention when he was in school. Into history, no one shouldn't. And also, history say, hey, this is a common history that everybody 1 to 5 does this. Well, you bet you was history now. But Osafo Marfo nim. Osuya idea. Nani any daho and odi yes harden. Because he is found of making tribal remarks and tribal sentiment, because why he be that 2015 Osafo Marfo made similar remarks. Say a northerner should not be voted into office or into politics or become president because resources of the state, our eastern region, our Ashanti region, our western region, our central region, and our Brafo region, and what are resources of the state into president Ubibabe president, the person must come from any of these regions, not a northerner. Meanwhile, when he made that statement, it was Mahama who was a president. People took it as a ethnic your friend and remarks and comment, which was not good for the country. So he's found of doing that. Osafo Marfo, this is not the first time. Into Onya Sadeno. He must stop it. Now, Asamna Akokana, Abechichire, Ubia say, Achimfu Nina, Ubia, and the Eastern region Funinana, one Wapine, Eko Benkru, because Osafo Marfo comes from Eastern region. Osafo Marfo has enjoyed enormously from MPP, and without Asantefo, MPP is no MPP. MPP cannot be what it is without the Ashantis. In our next episode, we are going to treat that. You be treaty. Now, Osafo Marfo will say, when Ashantis would their vote from MPP as a political party, and also will be neutralizing a political party now, MPP can never exist in this country. You must be told and be told clear. But the man yes you are also Ejaya Akwaba. Yeah. The man be 3 minutes. Wakasa. Ejo Osafo Marfo. In some of the abetu gwenu. I'm a crew my deja. What do you know then?
Oh, I saw the chamber and the moon. So I reached one tiasam for which you I didn't know which one tiasam Friday in a Zubichi. Say, yes, no, I recognize a crab and tiasam for Fruba. Oh, I see. Wouldn't you need an out here? Ivy or fire or Osafo Marfo. Nano Pakakra. And yes, I pack a crap. At a cremazo pa, a single you one. I sing then. You one here then. At the years and I know what you don't go to him.
And you one.
You.
I know you're Nampao.
Papa. What do you be when you say para? Wow, and then to be a nice and papa.
I see.
It was a Takamapa, a single you one. Baby, now, Misha. What did I do? Call no coyer UGCC for now. I think for a dozen woman. I want them say.
Now, I do
a coy.
Opinion we over 80 years. I'm quite
a hallucinati. And also come. Waiting who do you now say appointing? And as you need to pass.
Oh, sir.
Oh, you.
Said yes, we also gone original.
You. Hallucination.
I see.
It in Bassa.
You've been a biacanon.
You were speaking from dotage.
Now, or the apology biaba. Do you accept the apology?
Oh, send the Sabe. And you only have 7 work every man. Now, from so now, Pancho, so and
initially, Crockers one party will be an answer, or the nature of Pacrabicu mope. I've heard an overpass. I was going to say, I don't know anything. This man, I didn't so near me, kind man, can you intimate me patch over a Osafo Marfo. You until I'm over patch. I are in history, Kakra. Abako some say at the hall. Na fakode chance fee na from Sukakra. Akobaho. I say nipa bi wokromua. Na won pese nipa bi hu say independence no kra no nipa bi kra na kofa bai ana wo di kan. O say mo kwa me nkroma. O dey. Sa story e be kan. Wo di adopa na wo kofa na bai. O he den. Wo godi adopa. Wo buabu eska no. You. Wo kofa na bai. Wo hurusi won ko. Papa. E be kan sa story later. Wo ho. Enti Pako fa dia de chance fi na mfom so kakra abaho ne mo wo hwe UGCC ni mu dia na chese na nka chemfo no wodoso yo furiata ne jibi dankwa ene na naku fa papa mpode se ono achia na oya kwenta o yo ono so mfi chebi okochira de chebi na onye obi ono na okakache okakawo to oncheda nya chimi debi ne nkwenta fo no no nkwenta fo yo tena kwenta ni yi tino ule mo fura tena kwa ba ma kwenta debi yo sanity ade enti sanity enti wo faide wo si wo friend wo ye bona so pachewa na e wo mfum so na wahu na wa pa ho chew enti so wo fa pa ho chew dia ka emenso bebi aso na yanko yanim sene ya chere ne sene abakwasem no farabai siti bebi ehia se fi ne bia na onnim anonum sa oye engineer ne nti sene oda hoyi measurement bia we ne tim yo emo history abakwasem de ne bia nka ho na measurement de wuti se wonim se calculation ya de kura no your history of calculations you are the Pythagoras theorem no many idea about you say history you ni na say so okay because that is the foundation of calculations man samusa kan mendin kan ho enti o fa nkasai sania otwe baby ko share baby mu no na ya yo how kakra okay nanso wahum dia na yemfa no from sinchano bisabansa wo mreki tu ebi ya yapon
thank you. Osafo Marfo's Honorable Osafo Marfo's case is something that I'm surprised at. And I feel he should have been learning from the past. And there was a time when Victor Usu, in his response to Dr. Gama, I think in 1970, during the time when Nanado's father was the ceremonial president, Dr. Gama, in a statement, then he was the leader of the minority. In a statement on the floor of Parliament, stated that
the efforts have been sidelined.
Yes,
giving jobs, government
jobs. Ashantis or Akans?
Akans
were inward looking. And then Dr. Victor Usu in response said, he being an aware was not expected to be saying that. Unfortunately, when Graphic picked that thing,
they picked the other side.
The meaning they gave it was, Victor also said,
the events are inward looking.
And that became something that was used it became something that hurt the airways so much. The meaning, the truth surrounding that thing was not well published for people to understand. Up to now, the airways hold that thing against the Ashantis.
Of which you are one.
That one is not necessary.
It's not necessary. So can I otherwise where you have what don't count.
Oh, what does that mean? Remove free more.
Won't count. So one count also be a main count. Say minimum. The won't count also main count. Me where you stand, I know. Minimum say won't count, but won't come and won't count.
That I always think that Ashantis. Why do you want to put me on the spot?
I'm not putting you on the spot.
But I'm telling you the history now.
You are telling me the history.
I'm telling you history now.
So we be. You know, so won't count. What the won't count ekasano. Is that not correct?
No, me count.
In Tokabe.
I don't say that. You see, so and I can tell you that has informed the absolute allegiance of the Votarians
to NDC.
Yes, to NDC. For that matter, to the extent that they haven't even realized that Rollins Nijiri Santini.
Oh, I see. But I'm told they say even part of voter region, only UP for power.
That's the history that I know. The Pando people, the whole people. I you know, this thing, it's at times very difficult.
Even the first MP for UP.
Anto.
From Anglo. Yeah.
I see.
Akpalu.
Friend Akpalu.
Yes.
I see.
You.
That's Anto family.
Nemo sa asemea those who ne papaya Samuel and a prasa interest no eden. A coffee. If you want, I didn't tea and never one was some school. Say, you see, UP first MP of voter region. Adibu Ukroma Enye. Na yen ye be fatu ye musu ye babe ye. We are not tribalistic. But I said that traba ina ewukruman as ye yifu. By telling people said no ye no edu bebi enye. Winim. Na men kan play enye play fa. Say akani bi kan asem e kira akani a eye won yaw de so Osafo mafudi. But won twini tan. Akamfu nyina nso emfa ne se Osafo mafu akanti no akamfu nyina ana asantifo no aka won hunti no asantifo nyina si wakanti no obi ayaw no afa ne se yi a infinity da. Right? Se obi fi voter region. Na obi nso fi voter region. No kan sem tia ne nyonku voter region ya enha won. Enye ohwenim ka yeso wanim tantan ya bua obi ebia kwasi enti na ofi hohoi manu su eyu yusu eni kwasi hohoi fodin kwasi afunko azu ofi voter region part of voter region ebi ofi pando ofi adidome ofi no akasa asem na kire nyonko enye ne yawo obefo se eni nua no ne kuntokwa obefa nsa but obi akani na okokasa asem kire sebe obi ofi voter region from any part obefa ne se akanfo na yawo agbefu ni nyina no won afa ne saa de no edu ba bia ese de betena ne pam ne kan street se saa de no enye okrum ga